if they were giving out like $1 million for somebody that can hit a fastball pitch, from the best pitcher in baseball, right? And this thing would basically require everybody. Everybody's going to go and try to hit this because everybody wants the $1 million. So the first day of the announcement, the line to hit this pitch is going to be droves, right? Like probably millions of people. Who knows how many people will be in this line? And people will go up and strike out. And after that, they would go, damn, it's over. Like, I missed. Not many people would like miss and then go stand back in line to go hit the ball again. He was like, I'm going to keep getting in line. What you'll find is that the line will get smaller and smaller because of how many people are dropping out and optioning not to wait and do the hard thing again. That comparison and that world of understanding is like something that equates to life very well, right? Not many people are going to wait through the 13 years of like bullshit, hardship. Most people opt out at year 2, maybe 3, no money, whatever. I need to figure something else out. Year 6, fuck this, man. Stupid. What am I doing? Why am I doing it, right? I'm going to go find the quick avenue or the quick return because money is that's what it boils down to for most people. Where's the money? Where am I making the money? When the money comes, it comes. What you find is that it's not hard to make money. Once you start making money, you learn how to make money. It comes with education. It comes with understanding, and it comes with a better resource of mind that makes you go, no, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to build this, and I'm going to go here. I'm going to meet, I'm going to present. I have an idea. I'm going to pitch it. Like you're now a much better machine because you understand. Money is no longer the thing that you think it was when you get to it. But getting to it, to get that understanding, you lose the pack. You lose the pack because the pack is like, I want it here. And because it didn't show up here, I got to go figure out a new thing to do that's going to give it to me here. And they got to recycle like...
They lose focus.
Yes, you're never completing anything. You never finish nothing. So the thing that you think you're focusing on, you keep quitting to start something else that you think is the idea, and it's just a cycle. It's a cycle.
Hey, Shalom, this is the brother Ba. You're back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the all the apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Yeah, in the video you just watched, Kevin Hart was going into how a lot of people, when they want to start something, they just have the money on their mind or the reward, right? We can also apply that in this case, the scenario. They always have the money or the reward on their mind. So as they're beginning to start the thing that they want to do, when they don't get the money or the reward in a time period that they would desire to have it, they start to get frustrated and they end up quitting. He gave the analogy of, having to wait in a long line. You finally come up, it's your turn, and then you fail. And then a lot of people aren't willing to get back at the end of that long line and keep trying. And that's what you have to liken anything you put your hand to in this world, whether it be a physical job or a spiritual job. All right, the spiritual job that we have within the ministry, serving our Lord, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. We are plowing, we are working in his vineyard. We are hired laborers, we're working towards an end goal, which is the kingdom, all right, which is intertwined with salvation. And a lot of people are not willing to continue to go through the ups and downs, to fail, to get rebuked, to fall short, to stumble, keep getting back up, keep fighting the good fight of faith, keep enduring, keep growing, keep taking the bumps and bruises. A lot of people are not willing to continue to go through that year after year after year because they're in that constant state of hastening the day and just wanting the Lord to come back so they can get that reward. But when your mind is only focused on the reward, you miss out on the journey and the progress of you growing, learning while you're in the situation that you're in, all right? Gaining wisdom and applying wisdom to your life, okay? Because you got to understand, as a Hebrew Israelite, that's who you are. This is not a hangout. This is not some type of club or gang that you join. This is who you are. So you live it. You become it. You have to come back into your heritage and learn what it is to be a servant and a son of the living power. All right? Whether the Lord comes back in your lifetime or not is irrelevant. You should just be living and serving your power. Even though we know the Lord is going to come back very soon, you shouldn't be living like, oh, if the Lord don't come back, then he ain't come back fast enough. You ain't in this for the right reason. Are you happy that you finally found your heritage, your nationality, and you know the true living power? That should be enough for you. Just live your life. Just live your life according to the ways of your power, to the best of your ability. But being so gun-ho and focus on solely the reward, and you needing the reward is causing you to not work on yourself and learn and grow and build yourself, all right, and to inquire about what the Lord really wants from you. All right, now, this word of the day is ma'alau, all right, ma'alau, works, all right, works. You have the ma character, reading right to left in our language, the Lashawan Kodash. You have the ma character, the I character, and the law character and the law character. All right, you combine those two law characters and you get law. Okay, so ma'alau, okay, that's works. And you gotta have works, okay? You gotta have works, because like I said, as you're living, you have to work. No man is able to eat that doesn't work. Yeah, if you don't put your hand to something, how can you reap? You have to sow to reap. All right, so just like you have to apply yourself in this physical world of work, you have to apply yourself in this spiritual labor, okay? Let's get Proverbs, the 20th chapter. Proverbs 20. Let's read verse 11. Proverbs 20, verse 11, it says, even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure and whether it be right. And we are children, all right? The Lord said you can't even come into this truth if you don't come as a babe desiring sincere milk. You have to be brought up anew because you grew up in the world, all right? You have the world's philosophies and ideologies and teachings and corruption upon you. So you have to be broken down, built back up. You have to be taught anew, raised anew, all right? Even a child is known by his doings, whether his work be pure. What are your doings? What are you doing? Is your work that you're doing is pure? Are you consistent in your work? Are you diligent in your work? Are you focused on your work? Do you love the work that you're doing, knowing that it helps you be better? Or do you have no doings that would please your power? These are the things you have to be concerned with. Yeah, the reward is nice. You know, you want to set your eyes on the things above. Because the scriptures tell us where man's heart, your mind is, there will his heart be also. So you want to, set your mind, of course, with the kingdom. But the kingdom ain't, the physical kingdom is not here right now. So for the time being, you have to have those works. All right? You have to have the ma'ilao, okay? The ma'ilao works. From there, let's get James. Let's go to the book of James. James chapter 2, verse 14. It says, "What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works? Can faith save him?" Yeah, it's like you're saying you believe in something, but you don't work towards receiving that thing that you believe in. All right, you look at any great artist, great athlete, great anybody that's great at any skill or craft. They believe that they could achieve that, they could attain that, but they couldn't attain it without works. So yes, can your faith save you? Yes, your faith can save you, but not without works. Let's continue reading. Verse 15. "If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say to them, Depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding ye give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit?" Yeah. So he gives the analogy here like, okay, if a person say they need food, all right, or they need clothes, and you just say to them, well, be warm and be filled. Nigga, they still gonna be hungry and they still gonna be naked. They ain't gonna have no clothes and no food unless they get clothes or food. Yeah, you can give them you can give them faith to believe in. Yeah, be strong. You gonna get food. You gonna get clothes. But until they get the food and the clothes, they still hungry and they still naked. Verse 17, it says, "Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead, being alone." So yes, faith is beautiful, but without works is dead. "Yea, a man say, Thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works." And that's the side we want to be on. We want to be on the side of the people that are showing our faith by our works. You got a lot of guys say they believe in certain things, but they don't work towards it. All right, they just talk. I believe. Yeah, man, you can do this. Yeah, and they don't work towards it. That's why a lot of these celebrities, yeah, a lot of them have done, some wicked things, but a lot of them really have put the work in to get to where they're at. Regardless of what it was, a lot of them did work their ass off. You look at some of these comedians, they had to go to these small ass nightclubs and get booed. You look at these musicians, some of them had to ride in fucking vans packed with a crew, traveling state to state to perform in small venues to get themselves seen and heard. Even when you look at these streamers, some of these streamers, you got this guy Cassinet, whether they sold out or not, he was in his room streaming for hours before anybody gave a fuck who he was. So these people put in works. All right? So you got to have works to show what you believe in. That's just with anything. That's how the Lord designed, life. All right? You should reap what your hands sow, period. Let's get Galatians. Let's go to Galatians, man. Galatians chapter 6, verse 4. It says, verse 3, it says, "For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another." Yeah, you can't rejoice in another man's works. You can't say, yeah, my elders are such and such. I'm surrounded by these such and such men in my camp. What are you doing? What do you have to show for yourself? You're not going to be saved off of another man's works, man. It's 1 Corinthians. Let's go to 1 Corinthians, 3rd chapter. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 13. It says, "Every man's work shall be made manifest, For the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire. And the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide which he have built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. So not only are you supposed to have works, but you got to make sure your works are able to abide in the fire when the Lord tries you and sees what your works are made of. All right? Make a call and election sure. Because you can have works, but your works might not be enough according to the Lord, what the Lord wants from you. Every man has his own lot, and only the Lord knows what he has desired from every single man. What is enough he'll take from every single man. So you better be praying and being diligent so that you can be acceptable in the sight of the Lord. Okay? It's at verse 15, it says, and then you'll receive the reward. You're not just going to receive the reward because you want it. It's like the parable of the foolish virgins, that they fell asleep because the reward didn't come quickly. No, man, you got to stay up. You got to continue watching and continue working. Continue preparing the house for the bridegroom. Verse 15, it says, if any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. And that's the reward, salvation. Okay? Works. Gotta have those works. Let's go to Colossians chapter 3. Verse 23. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23 says, and whatsoever ye do, do it heartily as to the Lord, and not unto men, knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive. Put all your might that you can to serve the Lord, and then you'll receive that inheritance. For the inheritance is only for the sons. It's only for the sons. All right. Let me see. Let's get Proverbs. Let's go to Proverbs 14. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 23. It says, in all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. And that word penury really goes into poverty, all right, not having nothing. But it says in all labor there is profit. That's how the Lord set it up. So if you labor, you're going to receive profit. Now, whether that profit is a just profit, that's a whole nother topic. But, we have these jobs and we get paid, right? Well, if you're working for the Lord is a just power. The Lord is not a corrupt power that's going to be unjust and deal with you unrighteously. So if you're working for the Lord, you better believe that you're going to receive a just profit if you continue in what he asks from you, okay? Works, that's what you got to be concerned with. Works, your faith and works, diligent in your faith and works. This is a labor of love. This is a profession of faith, as the scriptures call it. Let's stay in Proverbs, but let's finish it up over here. The 18th chapter, verse 9. It says, he also that is slothful in his work is a brother to him that is a great waster. All right. So, you don't want to be around a brother that's slothful in his work. And that's with anything. Because, what can you do? What can you get from a man like that? Nothing can be built with a man that is slothful in his work. Nothing will never get completed. So, yeah, man,